it's Mercedes, and today I'm going to be answering some of the questions that you guys have submitted. So let's get to it. Okay, first question. This is from TikTok from Mrs. M182, and it says, would you consider any more little bundles of joy? So if you've been following along, I just had baby number 8 via my 8th C-section. Let's see, 7.5 weeks ago, right now when I'm filming this. 7.5 weeks ago, 8th C-section, 8th baby. We have 4 girls, 4 boys. So blessed. Would I consider any more? Absolutely. So, like, I didn't get my tubes tied or any of that. So, I mean, it's technically possible for me to biologically have a 9th child. That doesn't mean I'm going to, but I'm just saying it's possible. You know, this C-section, even though it went well, like, recovery's been really rough on me, so we'll see. But my husband and I also have always loved the idea of adopting. We've done foster care before. We've had 3 different foster children living with us, and we say that we want to foster again someday when our children are a little bit bigger, so that's always in the cards. So yeah, I am considering more children. I'm not going to say nope, I'm done. Okay, this one's from Facebook, I believe, from Coral. Why do you even want 9 children? How could you possibly spend enough time with them? Good question. So how can I spend enough time with my children? The number one thing, and maybe it sounds kind of like, yeah, we've heard it all before, but being intentional is a huge thing. Like, if I'm going to have even 1 child, if I'm not intentional and spend quality time with them, I'm not going to be a good parent, and they're just going to grow up like not knowing me, not having a good relationship, whatever. So when I have 8 children right now, I still am intentional. And I love doing things one-on-one with a child. Like, for example, when I take one of my children to the dentist, would it be easier for me to maybe take like 2, 3, 4 kids at a time, just get it done with? Maybe. It depends. But I like to, use that as an opportunity to spend one-on-one time, right? I take that one child to their dentist appointment, right? Focus on them. And then, after the dentist appointment, maybe we'll go to the store together, maybe we'll get ice cream, something. But I, make time for one-on-one time. Even if there's something I'm not interested in that my child is interested in, I help support them in that, right? That's another way that I, try to be intentional with my children. For example, I have a son that really likes video games. He's 10. He loves like Mario and Super Mario, like all the things like that. And I'm not a gamer. I'm not a video gamer. But because my son loves that, I encourage it, right? Like when it's time to get him a gift, I like to get him things he likes, like video game stuff, baseball stuff, whatever. And I encourage, right? So there are ways to be intentional. There are good parents of, 1 child or many children, and there are bad parents of 1 child or many children. So it's possible. All right, another one from Facebook is from Rima. I think I'm pronouncing that right. You have 8 C-sections. What about your backache and body condition? I've had 5 C-sections. I swear backache and body aches. So having 8 C-sections is really hard on your body, right? Having any C-sections is hard on your body. For me personally, my experience, yes, I do get backaches sometimes. Like, I've noticed now after I've had number 8, I'm like, ooh, my back hurts from this random thing. And I personally believe it's because I don't really have any stomach muscles. So when you have a weak core, then it is going to make your back hurt. So yeah, my back does hurt. As for body aches, I would just say my back is probably the worst. I try to do all these different stretches. I'm trying to look into some more stuff to help strengthen my core, since, the muscles have been cut through 8 times. And I know they're never going to be what they once were before being cut through. But I know there are some things you can do to help. So I'm looking into that. And like if I was just to sit around and just be like, oh, I'm in pain, I can't do it, that's one thing. But I do my back stretches, I look up different things like, oh, this is supposed to be good for your tummy after you have a C-section. I look up all those things. Eating lots of protein, trying to cut out all the added sugar, which is hard, but I'm trying. So those are things that I try to do to help. All right, this one is from TikTok. Their name is just 3 emojis, but it says, how's breastfeeding going with number 8? Okay, so this is kind of a rough topic for me, and I'm going to try to get through it without getting teary-eyed or upset or anything like that. So, I never really breastfed my other 7 children. They were just kind of like formula fed, and they were doing fine and great, no issues. But when I was pregnant with baby number 8, I made a goal, and I really, really wanted to breastfeed baby number 8. I'm like, I didn't really make it work with my other children, but I really want to make it work with baby number 8. And I did lots of research. I joined different groups, watched videos, read articles, books, whatever, on breastfeeding, looked for support groups. No one else in my family or my husband's family has breastfed really, so I didn't have like that familial like support, I guess, or knowledge. But I'm still going to do it. And when she was born in the hospital, there was a lactation specialist there too, which is like, oh great, she can help me too. So I'm doing the thing, right? I'm doing everything they tell me to do. And the lactation specialist is like, yeah, it looks really good. I can see like her jaw, she's taking big swallows, big gulps. I'm like, oh good, because this really, really hurts me. But everyone tells me just make it past the first 2 weeks and you'll be fine. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. I can do it. Just make it past the first 2 weeks. Well, in the hospital, babies lose a little bit of weight after they're born. But they said she lost too much weight. And they started adding like fortifier stuff into the breast milk. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Because she was born 3 weeks early. So she was pretty little and pretty young. And was struggling latching. And I get emotional. I was like, I'm so determined to make this work though. So after a week, she was 1 week old, we went to the doctor and just to check up, and she lost even more weight. She was down almost a full pound from her birth weight in just a week. And so I started pumping more then. She was exclusively breastfed, but I started pumping more then. And I kept giving her, so that way I could measure it more too of how much she was drinking, because she was, the doctors were telling me, hey, she's burning more calories breastfeeding than she's taking in, she keeps losing weight, and they were already concerned about her having a genetic disorder, which would, VL-CAD, which we still aren't 100% sure if she even has. We're doing some genetic testing, but with VL-CAD, they don't store enough energy and or store enough fat and turn that fat into energy. So they're like, you have to be feeding her every 2 to 3 hours so she can keep getting, food and have energy and stuff. And so all of this, is coming down on me. And then, so when she was 2 weeks old, took her back to the doctor again. She still hadn't gained any weight. She was still like almost a pound or more or whatever beneath her birth weight. And they said, we're going to have to start supplementing some stuff because we're concerned about her. Right after that appointment, after her appointment, I took myself to urgent care too. My husband took me because I was having fevers and chills, and I had mastitis, it turns out. For 4 days, I was in our recliner in our living room with huge blankets, just having chills and fevers and pain, and it was horrible. I've never felt like that before in my life. And so, we just started supplementing formula with her. And once we started giving her some more formula, she started gaining weight. She started just being more satisfied, doing a lot better. I wasn't making enough milk, and I felt this immense amount of guilt, like I'm hurting my baby. I felt like I'm hurting my baby. I felt like that. I'm causing her to suffer. I'm the reason she's not gaining weight. I'm the reason why she's not as healthy as she could be. And especially now with her health at risk, with the possible genetic disorder and everything, I'm like, okay, we need to start giving her more formula. And the amount of guilt I felt, like, you have no idea. When they talk about like the hormones and postpartum depression, I have never felt this way about anything else. But with this baby and the amount of guilt I felt with the breastfeeding, I was like, it was horrible. It was horrible. And like, I did not want to go around the other moms that I knew and my mom groups and everything when they were breastfeeding, because I just felt so much shame. Like, you know, I told everyone I was going to breastfeed because I know it's what's best for my baby. And here I am. I felt like I was hurting her. So it's been a rough journey. I don't know how other moms are doing it. Like, I admire other breastfeeding moms. I think that they are doing amazing. It was a huge struggle for me. I don't know. I don't know how else to say it. It was, honestly, it was horrible, and I was having so much like anger, and I was like, I can't do that. The Lord has blessed me with such a beautiful baby. I need to take care of this baby, and I'm not taking care of this baby when I'm going through this. So we had to start giving her some formula. She's doing better. I'm doing better. So we're supplementing with formula right now. It feels good to get that off my chest, though. Because I felt so much shame and guilt about it. You guys, like the amount of pressure and everything I was putting on myself, and the amount of pressure I felt, like, even though nobody else was really putting pressure on me, I just felt pressure when I was around other people, which again could be pressure I'm putting on myself. So thanks for letting me say that. All right, here's a question from TikTok from B. What curriculum do you use? So out of my 8 children, this year we're homeschooling 6th grade, 5th grade, 2nd grade, 1st grade, and preschool. So 5 of them I got this year. And here are some of the curriculums I use. I like to use, for preschool, I love using All About Reading. I've used that. This is the 3rd child I've used it for, and I really like that. For kindergarten and 1st grade, I always like to use My Father's World. We've always enjoyed that. The kids have always done really well with that. I've done that with, 4 kids now, I believe. Yeah, and then for like other things, I really like Rod and Staff for English. I really like this spelling curriculum, which I also get from Rod and Staff. I like, what else do I use? I use teaching textbooks for math. I love that because math is not one of my favorite things to teach, so I love using teaching textbooks. What else did I use? This year for social studies and science, I'm trying master books. So I'm really excited to try them, I'm using them this year. So I'm really excited to see how it continues, and I think they're really fun. So those are the different curriculum things I'm using this year. I've tried lots of things. I've even tried putting together my own stuff for like social studies and science last year. But this year, since I'm having a baby, I'm like, I'm going to try out master books and take some of that off of me because I don't have time to make up a whole curriculum myself. Okay, this one's from Instagram, and it's from Mindy S, if that's how I'm saying it. What's a lookalike daughter? Well, I'm glad you asked. So, my kids are in my stuff once in a while, not very often, but sometimes, and I never really say my kids' names on social media, right? I'm like, when they're adults, they can decide if they want to do that themselves, but to help keep their privacy some, I do not share their names. So, but I do reference them sometimes, like I say, my blonde daughter, because I only have 1 daughter out of 4 that are blonde, or like my oldest daughter or my oldest son or baby number 8 or whatever. And for one daughter, my second oldest, I call her my lookalike daughter because she looks the most like me. Like, here are some examples. But she looks the most like me, so it's just become the norm saying my lookalike daughter. She's also the child that's likes being in videos with me the most. She's a preteen, and I do not let my preteens or anything have cell phones and access to social media. So this is such a fun way for like her to have some fun with her mom safely with social media. I do not let them have their own. So, but that's what a lookalike daughter is. That's just my daughter that looks the most like me. That's all I have for questions for today. If you have any more questions, you can always comment questions for me. I hope to do another one of these someday because it's fun. I like hearing from you guys, and hope you like hearing from me sometimes. All right, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.